Hello traders and welcome to a new video on Cryptometer.io. This is one of those random sites that I found that has become probably the second most, my second favorite crypto strategy slash, indicator site of all time. Number one being, of course, my one true love of VCDEP.io that gives order depth information. What this site does is a little bit different and also a little bit similar, but we can interpret present supply and present demand by looking at VCDEP.io. We can see how many bids and offers there are and determine if the coin will go up or down. With this site, this is going to give you historical supply and demand. So what we're looking at here is how many traders have market sold and how many traders have market bought on any coin at any time. BitMEX, Binance, Bittrex, Bitfinex, or Coinbase Pro, you can now track the amount of market buying or market selling that's occurred. So what we're gonna do for this video is I'm gonna show you guys how to use every single, not every single, but how to use each part of this website that I find most helpful. And then we're gonna look at strategy and how we can take advantage of this, and we'll go from there. And if you want any more help on price action or volume, I have released my price action volume guide, which is in the description below. All right, so what we see here is this terminology that they use isn't exactly correct, but what they're talking about here, and we're looking at 88H19 on BitMEX. Currently on the order book of 88H19, 59% of limit orders are bids, 41% are offers. So there are more people who are trying to buy than people who are trying to sell. And if we look at historical volume by the hour, we can see how many people were market selling and how many people were market buying by the hour. So what you can do with this information is we typically want to look for an absurd amount of market selling or buying, which I think occurred at 15 o'clock, where we had 26.6 million ADA contracts. That's a large amount of selling. So I would expect either one of three things that typically occurs after a volume spike: consolidation, retracement, reversal. So 15 o'clock UTC, that was here. I'll show you guys here. 15 o'clock was here. And after that massive amount of selling, what did price do? Price kind of consolidated slash maybe go up. We shall see. So that's one thing that they offer that I find pretty, okay, it's just going to randomly refresh. I find it randomly refreshes every few minutes just to make sure it's very up to date with what's going on in the market. And here we can see in the past 24 hours how much market buying versus market selling there has been. About equal, but more market selling, as you can see. And then they have the live order book with exclamation. And you can see this is just going to show you the order book. Very helpful. So we can see, how many are the top bid, how many are in the bottom offer. We currently have more offering pressure or selling pressure than bidding pressure. So price is going to have a harder time going higher, probably in the very short term. But overall, we have more buying pressure than selling pressure on 88H19, as you can see here. And then we come to what I probably find to be the two most helpful parts of the site. And if you're watching this video and if you're like, how am I going to use this site? There's all this stuff going on. This is helpful too. There are two parts that I think you should look at. Just two parts. I mean, this kind of information with order depth you can probably just get by going to VCDEP.io. They probably do it better. But here, the order book's nice to look at. But here what you can look at, the two things I would recommend is the second best thing on this site that I find, the live trade updates. Now, if you used Tensor Charts before or you used Coin Farm that looks at XBT and F on BitMEX, this is pretty similar, but it's offered for every single coin that we know of. So it's going to show us how many traders have market bought versus market sold on the 1 hour, on the 30 minute, on the 15 minute, on the 5 minute, or on the 1 minute. And typically when we see a large amount of buying, right? But we see a large amount of offering or selling pressure, meaning there are many more offers than bids, but we see many more historical market buys than market sells. That's typically a spot where the market will go down. And typically, just in general, when we see a large amount of buying within an uptrend or at the top of the uptrend, that's typically going to create the top of the uptrend. in the short term or in the more longer term. 75% bought in 1 hour. That's a lot. Market bought in 1 hour. That's a lot of aggression from the buyers. Let's see where price is now. So they're really putting a lot of pressure on the offers or the askers, those placing limit sell orders. All right, now let's just get to the best part of the site by far, large activity. This is going to show you when massive amounts of volume was transacted. It could have been by whales. It could have been by professional traders. It could have been by a massive amount of retail traders having their stop losses hit, whatever. What we see here, let's go take a look at a few points here. We had 173 Bitcoin worth sold at 1552 on ADA-H19. Typically, I'm going to expect the market's going to reverse after that much selling had just occurred. That's insane. 1552. Let's go take a look at what happened, and if that would have been a good spot for us to buy. 1552 was here. Now let's say you read, you look at this site and you buy. Your drawdown would have been about 0.8. Your profit would have currently been about 1.3 and potentially even higher. So this could have been a good spot to potentially have counter traded, as you can see there. And I think another one was here as well. You can see that 1553, so 1 minute after, in that downtrend, we'd actually also seen a large amount of selling. So if you weren't convinced that it was a good time to buy because everyone was selling at 1552 and 1553, by 1553, I mean, it's just a beautiful opportunity to buy. And this isn't just 2020 hindsight. This is looking at historical market selling versus market buying. And this deep in a downtrend where we've had multiple legs of the downtrend, with that amount of selling, I mean, that's a pretty good spot to buy with a pretty good risk reward. And if you had bought at 1553 down here, I mean, that's beautiful. Then your profit's even bigger. It's like, boom. So you guys get the idea. Now, what we can also look at is when was it that everyone had greedily, market bought? 1134 UTC. Let's go to 1134 UTC. We had a 97 Bitcoin worth bought on ADA. I will bet you that probably turned into a downtrend. That's just how this market works. But let's go look at 1134. Yep, it did. It led to a downtrend. So this is probably a much better trade that you could have taken. Let's say you buy at the close of 11. Don't buy. You short or you sell at the close of 1134. Price went against you, 0.7. However, okay, it's just going to refresh on me at that exact point in time. Why, thank you, Cryptometer.io, for your beautiful timing, making my life whatever. Okay, I can't complain. This site is free, and it's phenomenal. And by far the second best. It's coming close to maybe even the best site for advanced data on all cryptocurrencies. So you get it. Price goes against you 0.7%. Look at this. Price goes in your favor about 4%. How would you know to have ever traded this? Well, first of all, look, you're in an uptrend. And in this uptrend, you get an alert that says down here that 97 Bitcoin worth of ADA was just bought. That's a pretty good sign that you may want to short. So if you had shorted that and you had the bravery to hold, that's a price drop 4%. And if you did 10 times leverage, that's a 40% gain. So yeah, kudos to whoever did that. We can also see at 39, we had a large amount of shorting. Let's just go over that, and then we'll go on to different parts of this website. So at 39, that's 1239 UTC on the 25th. We had a large amount of selling. Not surprised. Large amount of selling, price trickles a little bit lower and then reverses. Price goes up about that 1.32%, only down about 0.2. So, I mean, I don't think you can really ask for a better trade than that. When price only goes against you 0.2% for only like 20 minutes, and then you're in profit right after that, you're up 1.3% on leverage. That could be a lot more if you're trading on BitMEX, of course. Even if you had held this, you could have even had other opportunities to get out of that trade at a profit. All you're doing is just looking at large trade activity and counter trading it if order depth is on your side. Because what you want to do also is look at the order depth, look at ADA order depth, look at the global order depth, and see if there are more bidders or more askers, more people trying to buy or more people trying to sell, because you don't want to just look at market buy versus market sell. You also want to put that into context with the present order book. An even easier way you can do that is, let's say that you look back in time and you saw at 12:39 UTC ton of market selling. You look at the order book on the same website and you see it's 58% bids and only 42% offers. This is not a terrible time to buy. We're seeing more bidding than offering. So this could have been a potential spot to take a really good trade. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at another. Let's do Binance coin. We could do Binance coin, but I'll do FET. I like this coin. So same deal, same information. You can look at volume by the hour, market buy versus market sell. You get this as well. You can see that there. You can see we have a lot more people trying to sell than people trying to buy. 1.673 million FET trying to be sold, and only 535,000 FET trying to be bought. We can see that, someone just sold. You can see how that number just like changed like that. We can see that it's been pretty dominant on the selling. So typically when a lot of people sell, we're looking to buy at a better price. So, maybe the market goes a bit higher. We shall see. But my favorite part, my favorite part, here we'll look at this. I don't think I explained this yet, but this is market buy volume versus market sell volume by the day. So you can see in, 24th of March, yesterday, on FET, we had, 27 million? 27 million FET market bought. We had 28 million market sold. So it was, more selling than buying, and you can look at other ones here as well. More importantly here, 43 Bitcoin worth of FET were bought at 1440 UTC. 1442 UTC, 26 Bitcoin worth of FET bought. I think this is obvious. I will bet you price shot up, topped out at around 1442, then went down. This much buying is not sustainable, guys. I mean, probability-wise, the probability of the market moving lower after 26.5 and 43 Bitcoin were bought on this altcoin, that's going to be hard for the market to sustain that rate without people just taking profit or panicking. 1440 and 1442, would they have been good selling points? Let's go take a look. 1440, that's a pretty darn good place to sell. 1442, where we had that 26 Bitcoin worth of FET bought, yeah, they bought at the very top. If you had sold when everyone else had market bought on this fun uptrend here, you'd be sitting pretty. You'd be happy about that take profit. So everyone was buying at 1440 and 1442, and that would have been a really good time to counter trade. We can also use this to do the other thing of looking when everyone sold and then think about potentially buying. So, 2216, 24th of March. 2216, 24th of March. Yeah, that would have been a pretty good spot to buy. You buy here, right? Your drawdown is about 0.4%. Your upside, boom, 3.5%. All you're doing is looking for a large amount of trades to occur in the trend, so a large amount of selling to occur in the trend. You take advantage of these people. You buy after they all sell, and you make the money. I make it sound easy. It's not, of course, anyone who's actually traded. But using this data does give you, it's going to give you probably a higher probability of success than other methods. So yeah, you just look here. You can see when a lot of market buying or market selling has occurred, and then you could put that into context with order depth and make your trading decision and go from there. Set your risk reward, set your stop loss, set your take profit, and be on your way. All right, so I've covered two coins, one on BitMEX, one on Binance, that I find to be, pretty helpful. Now let's take a look at what else this site offers. This that I'm about to show isn't the most helpful, but it can be kind of helpful for some people. It's just basic information about some coins. You can see, 24 hours, sellers shot down, just got listed. So EVX has just completely doubled massive uptrend. And, what you could do with this information is we could click on this and say, I wonder why EVX rose so much. Let's go take a look at some of the volume metrics and some of the order depth that we see. Oh, still a lot of people want to buy. Is that spoofing or real? This graph is hilarious. Just look at this. If I scroll here, yeah, it just looks like a normal chart. It's just chilling. And that. I think low to high we went, what? 250%. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, that was insane. So what you could potentially do is look for, oh my God, 162 Bitcoin worth of EVX was market sold at 1602 UTC. You could potentially look into here to take advantage of that. Jeez. 162 Bitcoin sold at 1602? What? Okay, I have to find out what happened here. Oh, wow. That was a really good market sell. The market was going up and or a series of traders sold 162 Bitcoin worth of EVX. And look at that. That was a very, very good sell. So that's what I like to say about with trends, guys. Typically in an uptrend, you're going to see this pattern. I'm going to draw on this thing here. And then you see something like this, like a massive amount of the price moving forward. And if you see on this, website that there's a large amount of buying, then typically late stage uptrend, large buying, price goes down. However, things get a little bit more complicated when you see an uptrend, but then you see something like 162, Bitcoin sold of EVX. I can't exactly say to you guys that's bullish or bearish. I would think that any massive amount of volume in a trend is more likely to reverse it. But you would have to put that into context with other trades as well. Because I think that, 1557, 1602, we just had volume was just flying around the place. Probably a time you want to get out of this. When this much volume is being transacted, you don't want to hold. That is not financial advice, of course. I always have to say that this is not financial advice. I don't want anyone to, mortgage their house and go all in on one of these coins. But yeah, you can look at this volume to see a little bit more deeper into, hey, why did this coin rise like 133%, 250% from low to high? So you can look at that. What I find way more helpful is this. They can show you large activity on BitMEX, on Binance, on wherever you want. I can say, all right, so I want to see any large trades that have taken place. We can see that EOS, we had a 34 XBT market sell. Okay, so you could click on EOS and go learn from that. A lot of, buying, $16 million bought, now $17 million bought, currently on XBT. I like to do this also for Binance and then sort by those who have been sells. And when it's red, that means it was a large amount of selling, which could be a potential spot for us to buy. I mean, 168 EVX is just being sold off to oblivion. EOS, we had a large amount of selling. RVN, we had a large amount of selling here. Then you could go, hey, what's RVN doing? Yep, and that's the selling right there. And then maybe you could take advantage of that selling, if you were bullish. But yeah, so that's something that they offer as well. The final two things that they offer that I haven't covered yet is just, this is exactly what it sounds like. It's cool. It's news. And then trend is something a little bit special that I have to be honest, I don't fully understand how this is even calculated. I'm assuming it's order depth. But what this is, and they say higher is better. I think they mean higher is more bullish and lower is more bearish. What I found here is, typically the higher this number is, the more bullish, and the lower, the more bearish. We can just test that theory right now. All right, so 10 UTC, 24th of March. This was at 22.87 at its low, this whole trend history thing. That means that we had a large amount of selling pressure at 10 UTC. Let's go take a look at XBT USD. And let's go see what did XBT USD do at 10 on what was it, the 24th or the 25th? It was the 24th. 24th, that would have been a really good spot to sell right there. So this was saying, this little thing was saying you should probably sell. Let's look at another time that it got really low. It got low again at 5 UTC went down to 24. Whatever this thing is, at 5 UTC, that was here. So that would have worked out well to short. And it got very, very, very high or very large at about like what? 745 UTC. 745 UTC, what was that? On the 22nd, or was that the 23rd? My memory is not. 23rd. Okay. So 745 on the 23rd. I mean, I guess, it's like you could buy and, okay, maybe that was actually be a not great spot to buy. Yeah, I don't really know exactly what this is, but it looks like when it got low, it did, price did go lower. But I really find that the best part of this is the large trades, and I'm blown away by this site. I'm very impressed, by what this site is giving us as traders. And all these sites that are popping up are just giving us more and more and larger and more meaningful edges that we can use in the market. That's great. Oh yeah, only 0.05 Bitcoin. When it changes to 97%, you expect it's like 50 Bitcoin, but it's only 0.05. Well, good amount of buying. And then you can see, of course, the large trades that have occurred today. 25th, we had a 1553 UTC, massive 52 market sell at 1553. So potential spot where we could have picked up a long position. And that was here. 1553. And yeah, we could have bought. All we're doing, and the only reasoning that we have to buy there is because everyone else had sold. We're taking advantage of other people losing money and their stop losses being hit, panicking. We're taking advantage and being able to swoop in, steal, take their position, buy at a great rate, and trade like a crypto whale, by doing that. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed this and want to learn a bit more about how price action volume work, you can check out the guide that I wrote and the community of traders that I've created. And that is going to be, that's in my private Discord. And if you're interested in that, you can click the link in the description below. But with that, experiment around with the site, guys. I think that it's super helpful to see historical market buying and historical market selling. And if you combine this site here with vcdep.io, then what you're going to get is how many people want to buy or how many people want to sell, which is order depth, 101, vcdep.io. And you're also going to get how many people have historically sold or how many people have historically bought, volume metrics. And that combination right there that's a really powerful combination to trade off of, because that's going to give you the full picture of what's happening on a coin. So best of luck to you guys. And if you can find something meaningful out of this like I did, then post it in the Discord. And with that, happy trading. See you guys soon.